time. You all get to, every time I do this, you all get to see how much, worse I get at technology. So, let's give it a minute. Yeah, today we are repainting some stuff from Philip Sin's new Kickstarter that he gave me preview files for. So, this is what we got. Let's see what we are going to do with it today. Set you like that, down, up. Do. All right. Okay, cool. So the air conditioner stopped. All right, so what we got here is we have a Mind Shatter Sphinx. So we are going to give this thing a pretty cool paint job. So we're going to kind of do it like it did in the pictures. It's his stuff. We're going to do a gray body. Oh, I got a sheet over here. It's a gray, blue gray body, white gray fur and face, pink hair and brass armor. All right. Yeah, now the air conditioner's off. Everything's so loud in here. So we got to do gray, blue gray body. So we are going to start off. Once again, I should have pulled all my stuff out. So, yeah, this is his new Kickstarter that he's coming out with. I think it just went live like over the weekend. And this is not my promo video for it. That is going to be on Wednesday. This is me messing around with the models because that's the part I like to do. So we're going to take a bit of Gravel Lord Gray and we're going to put half a drop of High Lord Blue. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? I realize my camera's crooked. Right there, and we'll pull it this way a little bit. Might look cool painted up like a tiger. You know? It's not a bad idea. Okay, well, let's do a tiger with like... Yeah, let's do a tiger with like a lion's mane on it. So let's dump that paint. Let's start over. All right. So for that, we're just gonna let that over to dry. This here, we're gonna pull out some orange for our tiger stripes. How's everybody doing tonight? How you doing? What are you working on? There we go. Start with some of this. Oh, I knock everything over. Sorry, it's my usual clumsy butt at the start. One, oop, well, 2 drops. There we go. We'll bring it down. Finished a Mech Mob Shaman. Oh, that sounds like fun. Based on my deck of bucket list. All right. You stuck at work. Well, thank you for working while the rest of us are able to chill for the night. Thank you for hanging out while we're painting. Howdy, Sauntering Spellcaster. How you doing? 3D printer still needs repair. Yeah, I feel you on that one. I am still in the process of calibrating the new one. And I think I got it. Actually, I got another test sitting on the printer to make sure I didn't, get the numbers right on accident. Printing little stuff just to make sure before I go full blast on stuff. Yeah, this stuff here was also like testing out calibrations and stuff. So I got 80% of the models that I wanted when I put these plates on there. And one fail that I can make work, and I'll show you guys that in a second. It was on the big old vortex beast that he has, which was quite honestly ambitious. For a test model, it was very ambitious. And this thing is obviously made for a bigger base. This was just temporary base that I had laying around. Good evening, Stephen. How are you doing tonight? I am loving the bigger print volume. I don't think I'm going to be able to say I can outpaint my printer anymore. Oh yeah, I got a new printer. I got a Saturn 3 Ultra because the old printer finally gave up. Finally had parts break that I didn't have replacements for, and you just can't get parts for it anymore. All right, we'll do his ears as well. Yeah, I'm just having some calibration issues on my end, going from a smaller bed to a bigger bed. Just the suction forces and everything involved are not the same. So I'm having to adjust my supports. I got to adjust my curing time or my print time. Cool. Yeah, I've never used any uniformation stuff, but I've heard good things about them. So yeah, the print bed change is ridiculous. Like, this is the last models I was able to get off of my old printer, and you could tell even there I had 2 fails while you normally don't have any. So there was that, and then this is my first real plates off of my new one, and you can see the difference. So yeah, I am definitely loving this. I have to work out washing though, because right now I just got a giant plastic tub of acetone, because it was kind of a last minute. I got the printer and was just like, oh no, I don't have any way to wash all this stuff. And here, I'll show this off too while we're waiting for that orange to do something. This is the Vortex Beast that he has in his files that Sims just put out. And I did have a misprint in this one. The back leg, if you can look through there, the back leg screwed up. But again, that was entirely on the calibration of my printer. So I put this on there and it's drying, and that is going to be Chaos Smoke. Yes, there's the Vortex Beast. And then I have some. These were labeled as Forsaken, but then he changed it to Mutants in the thing. But you know, some of them are just like, you know, basic mutated human. But then there are some gems in here. Like, look at this thing. Some creepy ass Wendigo looking thing. I think that's just cool. And then this guy here looks like he'd be right in there to be leading a unit of Demons of War. So he's got some real cool stuff in there. Yeah, difference between a guy that gets it right the first time and me going, man, that's a lot of resin to shoot again. Let's turn that down a hair. Okay, so we got this far. We're not going to do the black stripes on it yet because, you know, we'll let it do that towards the end because you can tell that the orange is still wet in a few spots. So I want to do like a lion's mane on there. Tell you what, we're going to do, it'll be a two-parter. Let's do... where is it? Was it ready fur? Ready fur, because this will be like the base of the lion's mane, and then we'll go in with a dry brush later, or like a khaki or something. All right, little flow improver on there. Little flow aid. Now let's see here. Let's do an oddball question of the week. Something I'm working on in the background. Well, something I'm working on for not the channel. I am the dungeon master for my little RPG group. I don't know why. They always say I do it better. I'm like, okay, fine. No purple or pink today? Maybe. We might get there. Our last D&D campaign wrapped up. And I think they like my campaigns because I always do grim, dark campaigns. Our last campaign, they were playing as the bad guys. They were playing an evil campaign. And it ended with them, you know, they started trying to take over the world. And at the end, they ended up being lords over a dead world with nothing but the wind. Because everyone ended up dying to a fungus plague that they started accidentally. So, this next one, they've asked me to run, they asked me to run Death Watch. I'm like, okay, no, we're not going to do Death Watch. But we are going to run the first Fantasy Flight 1. I think they called that Rogue Trader. I don't know. I just remember Only War, the actual name, but I have the books for it somewhere. But they are going to be an Inquisitor, a junior Inquisitor in their retinue. So this way I could do like, there's going to be an overarching plan, but I'm going to have like Monster of the Week available for whenever I really just want to pull something off. Hey, Tanzagore Lover, how you doing today? So, oddball question. what are some cool scenarios for me to pull out for my merry band of Junior Inquisitor and henchmen? You know what? We'll do the braids a different color because it's a Chaos Warband or a Havoc Warband. Okay. We're going to be using the Fantasy Flight D100 system. So it's going to cover pretty much all the books by Fantasy Flight. I have them all, and we're just going to run through there using that system. There's my palette brown. Okay, let's look for a skin. Let's make this look kind of weird. Let's go for a skin color. Let's look for, yeah, peachy flesh will work. We're going to make this a little bit weird because it is a Havoc dude thing, cat sphinx. Well, I got a little secret. I got all of them on PDF. Before the great GW Purge, I have the library, which is got all the RPG books, all the game books, and I got all the White Dwarfs going all the way back, I think from middle of 2020, all the way back to White Dwarf #1. All of them in PDF. So sometimes if I'm looking for inspiration, I just crack open a random number White Dwarf. Barghesti Horrific Dogman. Okay. I'll have to look that up. That sounds just up the weird alley of things I can have them be doing. How do I feel about the new Voton? Most of it I like. Most of it I like. The Ironkin though, man, I don't know. Something doesn't look right with them to me. They look like, quite honestly, they look like a third-party model. And most people are like, the legs are so bad. I'm looking at the freaking gorilla arms. The way the shoulder doesn't connect right, and that one giant shoulder pad they have, it just doesn't look right to me. Oh, what's up, Terrainaholic? That... Look into how the Dark Angels are hiding things. That's definitely something for a more seasoned Inquisitor than what we are going to be starting off. Like, out of the 4 people, maybe 5 people I'm going to have in the campaign, only 2 of them really know. Well, honestly, only one of them really knows 40k lore. And the other one the rest of them keep pushing me for information. Like, I was driving home today and she was like, explain how to play an Inquisitor. I'm like, oh god. So what followed was a 45-minute conversation that ended up with me like waving my arms and ranting like a madman in the gas station parking lot. They probably think I'm really weird, is what it is. Yeah, I'm sure. Like we'll see. It's going to be something that we're going to see how Broken Truth sells, but I think it's going to be real good. At least I hope it is. Okay. I can always do Gene Stealers. Yes, I can always do Gene Stealers. All right, model, talk to me. What do you want? Why? Why is Pink talking to me? Okay. Everything is heresy. Well, I'm gonna have her. She's gonna be the Inquisitor, pretty much, because everybody else who knows the 40k lore is like 1, 2, 3, not it. So she is gonna be the Inquisitor, and I will introduce things slowly. How an Inquisitor would slowly, gradually discover stuff. Yeah, where's the pink? Here's the pink. Why? Because we need some more color splash in there. This way I can be part of my Lust War band without too much of a push. There we go. A little bit of pink in there. We'll highlight that up in a bit. All right, so let's do. So yeah, it's gonna be fun introducing her to stuff, and I'll have the rest of the party being like, "Oh God!" when I pull random things out, and she's gonna be like, "What? What's wrong? What's going on?" Okay. Oh. Ooh, y'all are just being something. Trey's in the Infinite. We're pulling him out already. So many bugs. I don't know if that Starship Trooper thing you're doing, hey? Starship Trooper thing you're doing? All right. Well, they're supposed to be bugs. Well, thank you. That was the first suggestion. Someone said make it look like a tiger. Well, you know what? Awesome. Oh yes, the resin shipment did finally show up. That was the funny thing. It showed up right in time for my printer to break. But hopefully we got that all sorted out now. Yes, the printer finally broke, and it was this right here. The front LCD screen with that crack that was behind the metal somehow. I'm going to turn that into something. It might be a trophy for, like, best painted at my tournament. Yes, the new one does have a bigger bed. I went from a Mars to a Saturn. But instead of the Saturn 4 that I see getting hyped up everywhere, I went for a Saturn 3 just because the Saturn 4 has so many extra bells and whistles on it. I'm like, that's just more things that'll break. Okay, so and tigers, the tips of their ears are white, I think. I remember reading something like that. So we'll do the tips of his ears white when we get there. This is probably all wrong for tiger striping, but it's a chaos tiger. So that's the way my chaos tiger stripes are. Yeah, this is a cool model. This is Philip Sims' new Kickstarter. I got the name here. I'm going to be doing a promo video for these on Wednesday, but that's the name of it. Inferneck. But yeah, I got here's my notes for it. It's the whole thing is like 37 pounds is 50-ish bucks. 102 models. It's a full Havoc Warrior set for Age of Fantasy. Plus, it's a full like Chaos Fortress or Havoc Fortress. So I'm gonna be doing I'm gonna pull some pictures off of my mini factory and stuff for the video on Wednesday. But I figured I printed some off, mostly trying to figure out the calibration of my new machine. And figured I'd paint some for you guys, because I'm struggle busting with the Lust Brothers. Just printing them. The calibration has just been bad. Well, the good thing about his Kickstarter is that, when you back it, you get the stuff next month. So instead of like backing a Kickstarter and just forgetting about it, you get all the STLs next month. So we're gonna try to do something a little fancy here. At least fancy for me. Start off with the base of dark wood. This would probably be good to use for a wet palette, but unfortunately I don't have one. We're going to do a drop of flow aid, well, 2 drops of flow aid in there. Pull it out a little bit. It's a full Havoc fantasy art. It's a full Havoc fantasy army. Here, I'll show off some of the other stuff I printed in just a second. We're going to see if this works. And if not, I can always knock it back down. Thought it was Cathay? No, it's not Cathay. More. I mean, it's kind of got a gradient to it that I was going for, but still a bit too thick. I don't know the word I'm looking for. You guys know me, I just experiment on live streams. Yeah, I got most of that. Nice. A little bit more. Do we think Grimdark future doors are going to get new rules? Probably not. You could probably just make it with what's there. Let's see here. Speaking of Cathay proxies, though, Raging Heroes has some really good ones. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's lots of good Cathay proxies out there already. Let's see here. For the new models, like the new Jeep that came out, that could just be, an attack bike or an attack vehicle for them. Or if you want to feel froggy and make the rules for it yourself, an attack vehicle with like a Transport 6. And then, what else was there? I kind of looked over all of them. The Iron King, you could just bring over like ogres from the Human Defense Force, the ogre robots. Yeah, I mean everything's there. If you just mix and match things. Let's put some silver on the armor. Because, you know, it's something I'm doing in my tournament coming up next month, is that you're allowed to mix your army. You know, I don't know why more people don't do that. They just want to do all pure armies, but I don't know why when it's in the rules. You're going all natural. You better show up with some pants on. Yeah, you could also see this for Havoc. Yeah, that'd be a cool idea. Speaking of Havoc Dwarves, Terrainaholic, you've already seen it. Yeah, I should put that in my next flyer for my next tournament. Pants are a requirement. But Terrainaholic has seen my new video that I put out today for members only, and it's going to be out on Saturday. We had... now, okay, I love Chaos Dwarves. I got into the hobby like just as they disappeared. Fun, Havoc Defense Force in the works. That's cool. And because of their re-release into the wild, I did a game that was about 4,500 points of Havoc Dwarfs and Dwarfs, because the Dwarfs got some cool stuff that I think should be Havoc Dwarf stuff, or at least they should have access to. So, Havoc Dwarfs and Dwarfs versus Ogres and Giants. Now, let me tell you, that game took us 5 flipping hours to film. It was so big. Yeah, the way I edited that, there's no fat left on that thing. It's just all go because oh my god. Well, except for a few spots where we're yelling at each other. Yeah, Nexus is we're gonna have a lot of Fantasy Regiment stuffs coming up. The tabletop simulator version. Because he's running a Nexus is running a tournament next month, and I've already submitted my army list, and it is going to be something. I went with, instead of running orcs like everyone assumed I was going to, I'm running a power list. I'm gonna try to win this one. I'm gonna be a spoiler, running smasher people. At least that's the plan. Just because I said that, I'm probably gonna lose every game. I tried though, man. I tried to make an orc list, but I could not find one I was happy with. The closest I got was a wild orc list, where the entire army had scouts, so I just start at the 12-inch line, or just right in the middle of the board. Like the first Undead Halloween. Yep. Okay, we're doing okay here. Doing okay here. It's just so much hair and so much like greebling. And one thing I love about Sins is that he hates to see a flat armor panel. Like on all of his models, there's always something. Like on this one here, you can see on the chest piece, there's always some kind of decorations to the armor. Like the closest you get to flat panels is this here, and those are just going to be good and rusted when I do it. These are going to be fun. Brah. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you too. This is his Vortex Beast. Well, minus that. I had a little printing mishap, but we're going to do Chaos Smoke. Yes, this is his Vortex Beast. And that will be fun too once it is ready for paint. Highlight the tips. Oh, we're going to highlight the crap out of this mane. Don't worry. Speaking of, let's go ahead and do that right now. Yes, you get that. You get the Vortex Beast. You get a Slaughter Beast. You get like dragons and ogres and all kinds of cool stuff. All for the low, low price of about $50, whatever 37 pounds works out to. Plus an entire Havoc Stronghold. Yeah. But again, this is not the promo for it yet. That's later this week. Oh, awesome. This is just me getting my hands on new models and farting around with them. That's right, it is the best farting around. So yeah, we're between the printer going down and then last week my it sounds bad to say this, but she was 100% right. My wife forced me to go on a little mini vacation just to get away from stuff. She took me to a casino. And I got back to work today. They're like, "How much did you win?" And I took out my ticket. I won exactly 61 cents. Possibly. I mean, you gotta be more vigilant with like when you have. Oh, the cat's going crazy upstairs. When you have a bigger vat and you have like print fails, you have to be more vigilant with cleaning out the vat. Make sure there's nothing in there that will stick stuff. Yep, a tiny mesh helps. Also, whenever you have a questionable one, Like whenever you have one, you go, oh no, I think there's like stuff stuck to it. If I have a fail, I always do a tank clean where it exposes the whole thing on the bottom and I pull that sheet off. How do you get past the ugly, like with your 3D printer? Well, it's kind of hard to explain. You just kind of, honestly, for me, it was trial and error. It is entirely trial and error. Like my first printer was the Anycubic Photon. It wasn't even a mono screen, and I ended up just killing that thing. But just like anything else, you know, me in my day job, it's all mostly mechanical. It's like you break stuff, you figure out how you broke stuff, and then you just try not to break it again. Top of the head. I know that's not what you want to hear when your printer is currently down, but it's pretty much the best way to learn. Break it, unbreak it. A layer print? You mean the vat clean? I don't know what we're talking about for a layer print. Oh yeah, it. Normally, what I do is I grab a piece of support from an old print. Let me see what I got over here. That was massive. I got nothing handy that's small enough to demonstrate. But you take a piece of the old support, and you like stick it in the corner, and then you expose the whole bottom. Now, if you have a machine that's relatively new, it should have an option on it for vat clean. And what that does is it exposes the whole bottom. And then when that's done, you know, usually 20, 30 seconds, you pull on the support and you put it, if you put it in the corner, you should be able to pull on it and peel the whole thing off of the FEP. Now, if you don't have a tank clean option, you can make a file where it's like the entire bottom is exposed for one layer. And you just run that file without your print head on it. I gave my wife a heart attack when I first started working on this new printer because she hates it whenever I put tools into working machinery or running machinery. And I was having a bear of a time getting the thing leveled. So what I ended up doing was I took the print head off and I took the vat out. And then I loosened all the screws. And then when it went down to do the first layer and where it was all loose, the head kind of moved to where it needed to be. I just held it down and clamped down all the screws real fast in the 30-second for my first layer. And that seemed to work 99% of the way. I was like, don't worry, honey, I'm a professional. I screw things up on purpose. All right, let's make this armor a little weird. What kind of random glosses do I have in here? I got a red tone. Maybe we'll throw a little bit of that in the corner. Red top. I got a military shader. Don't need that. Don't need that. Blue tone. A little red, little blue. Oh, I guess I got done. We'll start off with a little blue. Just put this in splotches on there. We'll take a little red tone. Wet the brush. Let that mix where it wants to mix. Just add a little visual interest to the armor plating. That's interesting enough. All right, time to start doing some oddball stuff. Well, I am an oddball. Everything I do is oddball stuff. Where is my black? You're gonna have black claws. Well, I could definitely see printing out Titan units on this thing. Here, I'll show you the size of the head. All right. See ya. So this is the size of the head. So, yeah, you could definitely start doing some Titan parts on this. Good night, Tradeaholic. Because this is a very temporary base. I've got no clue what I'm going to do with the rocks. So we won't paint the rocks. Just imagine they're brown or gray, one of the two. Okay, any other thing I need to do? Black. The tiger stripes were a good choice. Thank you to whoever suggested that. I forgot who it was. Might have been you. Thank you. All right. Now, pull out the khaki again. I'm going to do a touch of a dry brush on the horns. Baby, just the tip. Okay, they're still different enough from the main. Okay, they're doing good. All right. Okay. We are gonna do red for the gem things. Where is my red? That's slaughter red. I don't want slaughter red. I want blood red. There we go. Okay. Then eyes, teeth, tongue. All right, we're gonna do a bunch of water. This red. You can barely see it. Okay. Okay, eyes. Yellow eyes are a good choice. There's a tiny brush. There's a tiny brush. Come here, tiny brush. Here, kitty, don't blink. See the bulb on the end of the brush. There we go. Sometimes I gotta look up to make sure I'm still on camera. I think I did pretty good staying on camera tonight. Oh, come on. I want to get a little bit right there. There we go. Okay. There. Oh, tips of the ears. I want to do those white. Where'd my white go? There's my white. Okay. No, it is. Oh wait, he got straps on him. Is that a mon? It could be a monster from Fraggle Rock. Now this is from Philipson's new Kickstarter. This thing is called. Let me look it up over here. This thing's called a Mind Shatter Sphinx. All right, we got. Why you got straps? I guess you got straps then. Okay. They're staring at me earlier. There we go, leather. Just to add a solid breakup line between the fur and the skin. Yes, it's my vegan house cat. Okay, now we don't need to do that. We don't need that. Okay, it is time for a wash for some parts of it. Yeah. Yep, it is. There it is. There's that, to this. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna be doing a full breakdown of his Kickstarter on Wednesday. This, like I said in the beginning, this is just me farting around with models. I need a bigger brush for this. Hold on. Where's my giant ass wash brush? It's giant to me. There it is. Old trusty. Yeah, it's all frayed. That means it holds more wash. All right, Emily. You have a good night. wash. All right, and that is one angry house cat. So, let's give that a second to dry to see what it really looks like. If it was in the middle, if everyone else in the house wasn't asleep, I'd use a hairdryer down here. All right, so this is what she looks like. This is what it came out as. So thank you for the suggestions of the color palettes. Tiger stripes definitely helped. Yeah. So once again, I'll tell you, this came from Philip Sims Miniatures. This is his Mind Shatter Sphinx for his new Kickstarter he's coming up with. We got a couple of his Forsaken Mutants over here. We got random armored dude with big hand claws. We got, horned dude with arm blades. We got another dude with hand claws. And then we have what could very possibly be a champion for the hell, like the war demons. And we got Angry Wendigo. This is going to be so much fun to do. I think I'm going to do this one as a standalone character on its own. I have very grim, dark ideas for the paint scheme. And then the last one I have printed for him is this guy, the Vortex Beast. It's so big it doesn't even focus on the whole thing. So this one, we're waiting on my poof to dry. Otherwise, he would have been on the docket tonight. Maybe later on this week. We shall see. And in case you guys are wondering, if you're looking for it, this is the name of it. Like I said, this isn't the promo video. That's going to be Wednesday, where I get to show all the cool pictures and stuff. This is just me farting around with the models. But 102 monsters, 66 pieces of terrain, a complete Havoc army, RPG supplements for it, and it's going to be about $50, whatever 37 pounds works out to in dollars. If you're in America, I don't know. It's that time of night. We could be picking up the Australians. Oi! And yeah, guys, that is going to do it for me. We got this guy done. Now the wash is starting to dry. You can sort of see the shadows and the highlights in there. It's starting to look good. So that'll do it for me. It's my bedtime. I hope you all are having fun playing OPR wherever you are, and we'll talk to you later. Have a good night. Bye-bye.